Hi, I'm Rowan, and today we were going to do a video on VRoid Studio, but in the process of setting up for that, we decided we needed to use, some pen work using our tablet, our XP pen, and then it occurred to us that every time we have to bring that out and move it to the front, it gets in the way of the cameras and it gets in the way of other stuff, and it complicates doing things. So we decided, hey, we have a bamboo tablet, right? So why don't we just use this? So we're like, okay, so let's plug that in and go with it. Well, the problem is that you have to have working drivers. And so that meant that, well, whatever, we'd just go to Wacom and download the drivers, right? So here we are on Wacom's driver support page, and we're going to click on drivers and 403 error. Wacom's a pretty big company, right? Why would they throw a 403 error? Is there something wrong with our browser? Well, okay, so we're using Brave. So, okay, well, let's try using another browser. Nope, doesn't work with Firefox. Oh, well, do some search online, Reddit, and Reddit says try using Explorer. So, okay, we tried that and that came up with the same 404 error. So now here we are. We want to do a video on VRoids. We need to use a pen tablet, and the big company that is supposed to be able to supply you with drivers for your equipment doesn't work. So what's the solution? Open tablet driver. There we go. It's a GitHub repository, and you can install it on the 3 major platforms that are out right now. And yeah, so we decided to do that, and we found that that works really well. It's not really complicated, but it does have some steps, and we figured we could give you a step-by-step video as opposed to the words here and the little pictures. So to install this software, you just click on the installation guide, look at its dependencies, the Net8 Desktop Runtime x64. That's fairly quick and easy to do. And we want to go to Windows x64 because we don't have a Windows ARM computer. And you see that we've already downloaded it. There we go. Let's go down to Downloads. And you see we have Windows Desktop Runtime, Open Tablet Driver, and VMulti. Those are the 3 installs that have to happen here. Now, don't go running away. It's not that complicated, honestly. We're going to go through each of these. First thing we needed to do was download Windows Desktop Runtime Environment and run it. As you can see, we have already installed version 6 earlier this year, and now we're installing version 8. Microsoft Windows Desktop Runtime is kind of interesting. You can have multiple versions running at the same time, and it's actually kind of required because different applications use different versions. So if you do look in your programs and apps someday and you find that there's 8 or 10 of these, they're all supposed to be there. Some of them might be able to be removed because you're not using those apps anymore. But then again, they really don't take up a lot of space. So you might as well just keep them unless you're really running out of space, in which case you might want to do other things first. So let's double click on the Runtime 8. And we're going to tell it to install, and we're going to need to be administrator, which you don't get to see, but here we are. And now we're going to tab over to it because it doesn't show it on the screen for some reason. Thank you, Windows 11. Okay, installation was successful, and we are going to close it. And we can go back to our application. We've downloaded the dependencies, and now we need to download the latest version of Open Tablet Driver. And as you can see, we've already done that also. So Open Tablet Driver 0662 Win64. Okay, extract, and then run Open Tablet Driver UX WPF EXE. Okay, so let's open Open Tablet Driver UX dot whatever, and you can see that we have this output area here. And we have a couple of areas defined for space and the area of the tablet. And what the heck do we do here? Well, first we right click and we set to display. And we're going to set it to our little display. Now, mind you could set it to the other window too. Or you could have it back to its default, which means it will work in both. We particularly want it on the left window. And width, height, rotation. Right now our left and right are reversed, so we're going to go and say it's 180. We're going to hit apply. So here we are, we're able to move, and we're going to open up Clip Studio. Then we're going to try drawing. You notice there's no pressure sensitivity, but it is drawing. In order to get pressure sensitivity, we need to close this and go back to our website, and let's go back to home, hit the FAQ button. All right, my tablet is supported, blah, 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 no pressure. Okay, so install VMulti driver. And you can install and follow the directions from Windows Ink Wiki. Okay, so let's click on Install VMulti driver, and vmultidriver.zip, and we click on this, and it's going to say we already installed it because we already did. All right, and then you would extract that and run your antivirus check on it just to make sure you got the right one and that you didn't get any intentional malware bugs by a third-party hijack. And then you would run the installer. Install hiddriver.bat. This is going to tell us that we already have it. Yes, run anyway. We know this. Cannot be verified. Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure? Yes. Okay, now it's going to ask for our admin password. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not seeing these things. It's doing a bunch of these windows here. And we're back. So sorry. The install did a system reboot in the middle of doing stuff, which we didn't remember doing that before. And of course that means that everything crashed, and we just spent the last half an hour remembering how to fix a improperly closed video file. We'll do something about that. We'll do another video at some point. So here we are. And now we're going to do the Windows Ink Wiki. So the requirements are to install VMulti, which we just did, enable Windows Ink or Windows 8 mode in settings on your drawing program. So we've already installed VMulti. So enable Windows Ink on your program. So, here we go. Now we're going to go into the steps that are in OTD. We're going to reload Open Tablet Driver here. In OTD, Plugins, Plugin Manager, Windows Ink, Install. So let's go into OTD here and go into Plugins, Open Plugin Manager, Windows Ink, and then we are going to tell it to install. Well, we've already got it installed, so let's uninstall it. Yay! And now, right behind me is the install. So we're going to click on that. That's really all you have to do is install. So in order for Windows Ink to work, you have to set it in the active mode and the active output. Okay, so let's go to output. Then come down here to Windows Ink Absolute Mode, and we'll go to OTD pen settings now. Okay, and click on the small button on the right side of the tip binding and set it as follows. All right, tip settings, tip binding, Windows Ink. And the button is a pen tip. Apply. Okay, what about our eraser? That's if you have an eraser. Well, if you have an eraser, I would say probably go down to Windows Ink and button, eraser, hold, or toggle, your choice. Probably hold. Well, that's interesting. That'll be something to play with if you have an eraser. All right, so pen buttons. We want pen button and Windows Ink eraser toggle. That's if you want to do it that way. Windows Ink button eraser toggle. Okay, so if we set that to eraser toggle, then whatever we start with, it's going to toggle to the eraser? We'll find out. Okay, so let's hit apply and hit save. Now we're going to minimize this because this app needs to run, and we're going to bring up Clip Studio Paint. So here we are in Clip Studio. We're going to go to a G pen here, and you can see our pressure is working just fine. And then we're going to click on the eraser, and you saw there was some weird pulsing there. Clicking back onto the pen, and pen to eraser. See that? We just lifted our pen off a little bit, and now we're on eraser. And then now we're on pen, and oh, look at that. You might notice that our key binding is set to brush, or B, instead of using the eraser toggle option with Windows Ink that we had originally set. The reason why we did that is because we found that it didn't work all the time 100%. Sometimes switching with the side button would do some weird spastic thing with the switchover, and we would either get well, we'd always be able to go to the eraser and erase, but then when we switch back to the brush or a pen, it wouldn't always switch over to having pressure sensitivity. That was kind of tweaky for us, so instead we're using just the key binding B, and we're finding that to work great for just being able to use the side button to switch to brush. You could set the other key binding to E for erasing, Or you could just, use your fingers on your offhand to do the B and the E on the keyboard, or whatever your shortcuts are to switch between brush and eraser. In either case, the tablet itself seems to be working fine, except for this weird little tweak. So in our case, we're going to go for the brush and the eye for the eyedropper. So what do I think about Open Tablet Driver? I honestly think it's pretty darn good. The whole issue with the side buttons on the pen, I think I was having that before with the Wacom driver too. And that is actually a skill issue. I'm sure there's something to do with the distance of the pen from the tablet and the pen button push and stuff like that. It's just awkward in general, putting all those buttons on a pen and expecting the signal to stay continuous enough for the data to really get through and not get munged by loss of signal. But yeah, that's a whole total different subject. The software itself is pretty darn good, this Open Tablet Driver. The fact that you have to update a couple of other pieces of software to make it work right, that's not unreasonable. They could have made the installer more complicated, but the problem is that depending on what tablet you have, you may or may not need some of this stuff. So the flexibility is there, and it's up to the user to be able to decipher the instructions, which is where this video came in. And I'm hoping this video helped. I'm hoping it was, educational, informative, and pretty clear for what needs to be done to make this piece of software work for you and your tablet. I know it works well for mine, and I'm going to keep using this. And I hope again that you had a good time watching this. And if you thought this video was good, please like and subscribe. Do all those things, ring the bell. It helps the algorithm, and the only reason why we want it to help the algorithm is so that more people can see this video and get some benefit from it. So again, I hope to see you again next time, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time it is, I hope you're having a great time. And again, I hope to see you again real soon. Bye!